Hello, good day, fam nation. Wow, it's a hot, beautiful summer day today. 95 degrees outside right now, and it's about 4:30 in the afternoon Pacific time. Here in Portland, Oregon. This is August winding down, so we're getting the last of the real big hot days. I think tomorrow we're going to get in the 90s again, according to the weather predictions. But it's beautiful. Just talked to a man who I'm friendly with down the street, and he was telling me that he doesn't think climate change is real. But we also were talking about Greenland melting and the fires in Amazon and big shifts in ice water coming off of glaciers coming off of the Arctic and the Antarctic, and the fact that it hit 90 degrees in Alaska for the first time this year on record. So usually this is involving just like health through epilepsy and brain tumor and terminal diagnosis survivor for people with chronic illnesses and health issues, emotional well-being. But I think if we take into account the larger picture, we've got to look at the health of our planet as it pertains to our own health. I mean, the planet obviously is going to be around for a while unless a huge comet hits us and explodes us, or a supernova of the sun or something of that nature. I mean, the planet will actually be here, but the life as we know it on it, including ourselves, is probably not going to be here forever. And I mean, it is inevitable that nothing's going to last forever, not even the wonderful human race. But I think in the end, we have some control. We like to think of ourselves as keepers of this planet, that we have a lot of influence and impact on how we can keep the welfare of this planet, considering our own interests, more optimal. And when I look around, I feel frustrated when I see pollution. And I know I'm part of this problem in a great way. Just from being alive, I'm a consumer. Humans beings are consumers. We're not producers. I mean, we don't make food from our environment. I mean, we can grow food, but that's not the same. And we're not reusers either, like very few species can be. We are primarily users, which means we're taking oil out of the earth, fossil fuels, and we are doing all kinds of crazy shit, like creating plastics, again from fossil fuels, and we are not looking out for each other. And that just means maybe on a small scale, emotionally, we're not looking out for a person that we're stepping over who's maybe drunk or homeless on the side of the road, just in a bad way. We just take it as normal that someone's holding up a sign that says, "Help me." I mean, a lot of times I hear the argument from the other side, and I've felt it, that, well, those people are just going to use that money for drugs. But really, are we investing our time and energy into this community? It seems like we live in here in the West, especially in America, we live in a very individualized society. We're not keeping our brother and sister in our best interests. And what's good for one of us is good for all of us, and vice versa. What's good for all of us is good for ourselves. So I think we should all be more mindful, and this goes for myself doubly, about what we do, the choices that we make moment by moment. That ties back to consciousness, because a lot of the systems that we're utilizing right now for energy, which is a huge one, for food systems, which is our energy for our body, are greatly being impacted for future generations, and even our own future of our generation is getting greatly negatively impacted by consumption without forethought. We have the capabilities, and it's all of us' collective responsibility to make choices that benefit all of us, not just ourselves. You know, it's normal in America to leave your family when you're an adult, go out on your own and, you know, not be connected, not to know your neighbor if you live in a city. There's exceptions to these rules, of course, but it's normal to not know people around you and the community and the source of where you get your food and where you are getting all of these things that are necessary for your life. If you cut these people out of your life that you don't know, where's your life then? You're in a conundrum. So I think moving forward myself, I'm going to be working on becoming more mindful of being more contributing to the welfare of society, which means helping out my fellow human being when I can, being more mindful of the suffering and plight of others. I mean, there's a lot of people struggling out there, and this might even be you, but even if you're struggling, I'm struggling, we have a moral obligation to help those around us. So I'm just putting this down for my own reminder, and hopefully it can inspire a couple of good actions today, getting to know somebody that you don't know, not being so shy around a stranger or a foreigner or somebody that's different, and just trying to embrace a new frame of thinking. I mean, I obviously have been against the current political regime that's in place right now, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to hate everybody who's supportive of it, because people have their own systems of philosophy and believing and thinking and how they were raised and what they see, and there's media everywhere telling us all how to think, and if we think that we're not impacted by it, then we're simply just fooling ourselves, because we all are impacted by media and propaganda that's everywhere. And not to sound like a heavy conspiracy theorist, we're humans, we're interdependent, we conspire together, we all work, and that's the word conspiracy, conspire, together, working together. Socialism, bad word, right? But society, interconnected, we're all a part of it all, we're all together. So we need to start thinking about what we're doing to ourselves and each other, the things that we say about each other that's negative is reflective of what we think and fear about ourselves if it's negative, and what we say about ourselves if it's negative is what we feel about life. And life could be synonymous to God or the universe. So do we really think this about this one shot that we have at everything here that we're living? I don't think so. I think if you boiled it down, removed a lot of the suffering, which we could do, we all have the power to remove our own suffering, whether we acknowledge it or not. We all have the choice of happiness, whether we know it or not. We can manifest a better world. And I think that's possible. I think we're going to see moving forward. I believe as an optimist that we're going to see a better world ahead. And sometimes you got to go through dark times, trying times, politically, economically, socially, healthfully, otherwise, to get to a higher state. So hopefully, like flexing that muscle that hurts when you worked out, it grows back stronger. Hopefully that's the case for the human condition. And hopefully all this stuff happening that's not good in the world for human beings, like war, hunger, you know, all the bad things that there are, hopefully those things will serve as a wake-up call once they hit close to your home, my home, that guy over there's home, anybody, and we all start to realize we're all in this together. So that's my motivation for today, is remember that we're all in this together and just be grateful that we have this day. Thanks for listening to me. My name is Angelo Ieso, and it was a pleasure having you join me today here on YouTube. All right. Thank you. Peace. Much love.